Hi, amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. Now get ready for
T-minus
liftoff.
10,
Come
9,
on.
8,
7,
6,
6.
5,
Come on, count down
4,
with me.
3, 2,
Lots to
1,
do today and
0.
every day.
Ignition.
Get up.
Liftoff. Liftoff.
Come on.
30 minutes after the hour.
Get ready.
Yes.
Hold on to your strap on your seatbelt.
Yes.
Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hat.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name time.
On Vaughn Radio. Come on. Let's go. Go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to another exciting edition of the show with no name on Vaughn Radio, where you can laugh and learn at the same time. Why not? I mean, I believe that, really. You need to enjoy every second, especially when you're learning. And it's never been as true as seeing it with my daughter. It's all how you approach it. ¿Cómo lo enfocas? It's true. If you look at it as a chore, oh man, who wants to do a chore? Un deber. But if you look at it as a hobby, as something you enjoy doing, and you remind yourself, why? Why am I learning English? Well, to open up doors, whether that's professionally or just making more friends the next time you travel. I've seen that with my daughter too. When we go to Gran Canaria or Tenerife, one of these resorts, a lot of English people. And it's great to see my daughter mingling with Brits, Spanish people, Russians, Dutch people, because usually they speak either English or Spanish, and that's great. So she's already seen or experienced the power of being bilingual, and we won't even mention being trilingual. Wow. So it opens up a lot of doors. And again, my daughter isn't even thinking about the professional doors yet. She's just thinking, hey, I can make more friends. I can connect with more people. And I've got to say something. I've noticed that too. When I grew up, my summers, I grew up in southern Spain. We don't say southern, we say southern, because south is sur, pero ya cuando lo ponemos con sureño, it's southern. And I noticed, just the amount of friends I made was double the amount of friends of my friends back home, because they're like, well, I can only make friends with people that speak English. And me, I was like, well, wow, I can make friends with people from Spain, from Colombia, from Peru, from Mexico. I mean, all of a sudden it opened up my horizons, opened up my doors to the whole wide world. So even, putting aside, I know as adults, many times we're thinking about, expanding our professional horizons, but it's also about expanding your circle of friends and being able to make friends wherever you go, whether you're traveling for business or for pleasure. And making friends is part of networking, so it can always be brought back into the professional sense of the word as well. All right, well, folks, when we meet a lot of people, we've got to understand a lot of different accents. I just told you right now, I used to make friends from Mexico, from Peru, from southern Spain, and none of them sounded the same. So I guess that's the idea behind our Say What soundbite.
Say what?
That's right, amigos. It is our Say What soundbite here on the show with no name. As you know, we hear all different accents from all different situations that might come up. Movies, interviews, I mean, who knows? A little bit of everything. Now, today's Say What soundbite is from one of the funniest movies ever. Yeah, and I mean that. I freaking love this movie, and I think this movie, man, if you haven't seen it in English, you haven't seen it. Why? Well, the two leads, los dos protas, as you say, are two of the funniest men to ever walk the planet. So, yeah, you can dub their voices if you want, but my God, you're missing out on two of the funniest men with the funniest voices in the world. IMO. Well, it's not just my opinion. I think it's kind of, we all agree. It's a consensus at this point. And I'll tell you a little clue, too. Neither one of them is working right now. One of them because he's no longer around. He passed away many years ago. And the other one because he retired many years ago. So these are voices that we all grew up with. Voices, not just their voices, their physicality. And I honestly believe two of the funniest men alive in this movie. Also, a quick reminder, folks, if you'd like to practice your speaking, you can participate in our question of the week. As you know, question of the week is a section where you get to speak, where you're the lead. Tú eres el prota. And you can send us a 1-minute voice note. You can record it on your phone. Now, be mindful. As we looked at last Friday, specifically, I don't want to, target anybody here, but also Paco, for example, our good friend Paco, who always does a wonderful job. Well, sometimes it's overshadowed by this like electronic noise in there that's and it's very distracting. So be careful. I don't know what causes that, but there are certain things like if you talk really low, no problem. I can bring that up, no problem. But if there are noises in there, you smack, that's another thing too. Be careful smacking the table. If you're recording and you're like, bam, 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 and then, listen. So then I wanted to talk about, it's very distracting, right? So yes, I want you to focus on your English, but also if we're hearing other things in the background, we're not going to focus on your English. We're going to be like, what was that sound? So be mindful of that when you're recording, not to bang the table, to be careful. I don't know what these, maybe somebody who knows a little bit more about technology could tell us what those sounds are. But every week, Paco, and I try and take some of them out, but if it's in the middle of something you're saying, it's impossible because I have to take out the word too. So be very careful with that stuff, guys, because we don't want anything distracting from our message. And this week's question of the week is, what is the craziest thing, the wackiest, chiflado, crazy, crazy can mean many things. Crazy can be like, oh man, that was crazy. And oh my God, you did that? What are you, nuts? Right? So you can interpret it however you would like there. It can be chiflado, like, I can't believe I did it. What was I, crazy? Like in a good way. Or I almost died, that kind of crazy as well. So it's open to interpretation and you can record it on your phone. As I said, be careful with the recording and you can send it to this email address. Jot it down. It's aalonso@grupovon.com. Again, aalonso@grupovon.com. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you. A nice round of applause to Alfonso, Anix, Paco, Chris Valrol, Elena, Gloria, Marisol, Nuria, and Turani, who participated last week. They told us about their favorite beverages. So this serves many purposes. It's you practicing your English speaking, which, again, the only way to improve your speaking is by speaking. Correct. There's no shortcut there. Okay. You can use AI, you can talk to AI, or you can talk to yourself. Hey, you know how many students have done that? Like, what time is it? It's 12 o'clock. Okay. Do you know what time it is? Yeah, sure. Could you tell me? You can have conversations with yourself. My daughter does it all the time. When she's playing, I hear it and I'm like, brilliant, brilliant. Now, I know they say that people who talk to themselves are crazy, or they're just practicing a language and they're role playing both sides of the conversation. Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't you do it? Because then you're ready to ask any question or answer any question. And that's kind of how any conversation goes that we may have. So send us your 1-minute voice notes. You can send them to A Alonso, no dashes, no dots, no underscores. It's A Alonso at, which is arroba, grupovon.com. And also, guys, I'm not sure. Now, don't quote me on this. I don't know if there are any special deals because, as you know, Black Friday is officially over, thankfully. But I believe today's Cyber Monday. Is that a scary thing? I don't know. Well, go to our website and we might have some deals available. In fact, I can tell you right now. Let's go over here. Grupovon.com. Because I'm sure, dile adios al I can't, dile hola a Vaughan. Reserva aquí. ¿Quieres probar el método Vaughan gratis? Clases de inglés para adultos. I'm waiting for a pop-up here. A pop-up? Usually they pop up in the first 20, 30 seconds. All right, I'm not sure. Either way, follow us on social media. Go to our website, grupovon.com, and you can find out if we have any special deals going on right now. I know we had tons of deals for Black November, but we'll see if we have any for White December. What do they call December? I get confused with all these marketing slogans. All right, well, either way, what is it? It translates as, money off, money that you save on something. As I know, our Vaughantown, no, it wasn't Vaughantown. It was the master's program. There was a €600 discount. I mean, that is some serious cash, serious moolah. Did you know that word for money? Moolah. All right, well, folks, here we go. I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite for the first time, and we'll have you guys analyze it and tell me what you heard in your best English. Are you ready? Here goes.
Up yours! Oh, I heard that song before, pal. Now listen, dickhead, you got anything to get off your chest?
Will you tell me who you're talking to?
No, say one more word. Just one more fucking word. Come on!
First things first, how you machines doing? You good?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Let's take a picture. Quick question. ¿Cómo se dice emocionar en inglés?
To emotionate.
No. Think of Michael Jackson. Una pista de audio. It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark.
It's Thriller.
That's right. So emocionar is to
Thrill.
Eso es. And this book is the shit will thrill you. It's thrilling.
Sí, señor. This book is the shit. El inglés que no sabías que sabías. 1000 nuevas palabras para tu colección. De la mano de Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Now we're talking. That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Shit. This Book is the Milk. This Book is the Milk 2. English Everywhere and English on the Go, among others. And you can pick them up at our Vaughan Tienda, either at the online bookshop or if you stop by one of our offices in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. We'd love to meet you, and you can stop by for a free level test no strings attached. Hablando de frases de marketing, no strings attached. I think you say sin compromiso. All right, well, amigos, that was your Say What soundbite. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. And as always, you'll have 4 chances to write down everything you hear. So we'll see if you can figure that out as well before the end of today's show. But right now, it's time for another challenge. In the meantime, mientras tanto, let's move on over to today's pop quiz. Get up, get up, get up. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, amigos. It is our pop quiz here on the Show with No Name. And as always, this is an opportunity for me to introduce you to different materials that you can pick up at the Vaughn Tienda. We have hundreds. Again, I always recommend my books, or else I wouldn't have written them, right? And I'm not recommending them because I make a lot of money off them. Believe me, I don't. So get them because they're good, not because, you're going to solve my financial problems. But also, I highly recommend the translation booklet. I mean, you got 6,000 phrases. Also, I recommend the teacher's manual. Well, actually, your version would be called the student manual, because those are just amazing. Another one I always recommend, Kyle's Business English. And this next book, this is a fun one. This is for you guys who love taking words and picking them apart. It's called Word Maps. And Richard Brown, my great, great friend, and just an inspiration. In fact, he was my boss for some time when I first started working at Vaughn. And just a child trapped in an adult's body. So you can just imagine the content that he created, just free flowing. And these word maps are clusters. Okay, so he takes one word. Today's word we're going to look at is the word tip. Okay, we looked at that word before. Last week it was in a Say What soundbite. A tip es una propina, pero también es un consejo. Well, it's got many other uses as well. And in this book, you can pick it up for $14.95. Richard Brown picks apart, that means to dissect, 50 different common words in English and all their uses. So, folks, let's give it a listen. And of course, I will have a challenge or two for you afterwards. Yeehaw! Come on.
English with Richard Brown.
Yeehaw!
Hello, welcome to the Thursday edition of English English after 4 hours of music. We've never gone on that long, but anyway, welcome to the show. This, of course, is where we tear words apart. We look at a single word and we try to look at all the different uses and meanings of that word for about 25, 26 minutes. So we don't have long. No tenemos mucho tiempo. So we're going to start with today's word, which is a 3-letter word. It's a multi-purpose word. It's a word that has a lot of very different meanings. And that is the word tip. T-I-P. Tip. Now, as a noun, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the use of the word tip to mean una propina, right? When we go to a restaurant, sometimes, if the service is good, we can leave a tip. Yeah, I usually leave a tip. But you leave a tip or you give someone a tip. Que es lo mismo. Who do you give a tip to? Well, you give a tip, for example, to a waiter, un camarero, or to a waitress. If the waitress gives you very good service, you might, igual le dejas una propina. You might leave her a tip. So you might leave the waitress a tip. You might leave the waiter a tip. If you're in a posh hotel and the bellboy or bellgirl helps you with your suitcases, con tus maletas. Yeah, the bellboy is or bellgirl, the botones. Yeah. So if they help you with your suitcases, you might leave them a tip. ¿Por qué digo them? Porque ahí pues, no estoy especificando el sexo de la persona. Es una forma precisamente de no especificar. We're talking about a bellboy or a bellgirl. Well, you might leave them a tip. We're talking about one person, but we're not identifying the sex of the person. Similarly, del mismo modo, if you get good service in a restaurant, you might leave the waiter or the waitress a tip. You might leave them a tip. We're talking probably about one person, but we're not identifying the sex. Therefore, por tanto, we use the third person object pronoun, the third person plural object pronoun, them. We might leave them a tip. Estoy diciendo might mucho because we're talking about hypotheses here. I might leave them or you might leave them. Igual le dejas. Yeah? You might leave them a tip.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. And what a great Christmas gift it would make. Folks, we are heading to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with so much more Show with No Name. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the second part of today's show with no name. All right, here's what I want from you in today's pop quiz. The first one, you say the same thing in Spanish when you can't think of something, but you know it. Lo tienes en la punta de la lengua. How do you say that in English? Give it to us in the comments. Lo tengo en la punta de la lengua. As always, use it in context. Use it in a context where you would naturally use it. This way, you're not just practicing random sentences. You're practicing something you might actually say. Y ahí está esa palabra might, que puede que, quizás, dirás. The second one. The second one is another way of saying a critical moment. You say punto de inflexión, momento crítico. In fact, it's an amazing novel. It's not a novel, it's a book. It's written by Malcolm Gladwell, and I highly recommend everybody read it, especially if you're studying marketing and what makes things work. You know, those little details that you think, that's just a little detail. Is it just a little detail, or is it the difference between success and failure, right? So, punto de inflexión, momento crítico. Remember, those first two have something in common, the word tip. That's right. Oh, that's what we're looking at. And remember, it's not deep. How do we pronounce it? Say it with me. Tip. ¿Qué dices? Tip. Tip. All right, so the first one, lo tengo en la punta de la lengua. The second one, and again, think of it. ¿Qué es un momento crítico? ¿Qué es un punto de inflexión? Ahora, presente o en tu vida. And the last one, we looked at this last week. I want you to use the word tip como propina, but I don't want you to use the word tip. I want you to use the synonym that we looked at the other day. So number one, lo tengo en la punta de la lengua. Number two, un punto crítico and un momento crítico. And number three, a synonym for the word tip that you should know, because when you're looking at your bill, tu cuenta, it's another way of saying tip. So this way you know if it's included or not. Okay, so those are your three pop quiz challenges. All right, and folks, we're also going to listen to our Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you for the second time now, and then we can take a look and see what you guys heard. You can tell me in your best English here in the comments. Are you ready? Here goes.
Up yours! Oh, I heard that song before, pal. Now listen, dickheads, you got anything to get off your chest?
Will you tell me who you're talking to?
No, say one more word. Just one more fucking word. Come on!
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's part for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damián, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit.
That's right, folks. You can pick up This Book is the Shit at Vaughn Tienda and vaughantienda.com. Also, if you live in one of these cities, Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza, we'd love to meet you. I'm serious. Stop by, introduce yourself. You can tell them, hey, I'm a Vaughn radio listener. And you know what? You'll be welcomed with open arms. Que temazo. You know that song? So now I come to you with open arms. Believe what I say. Beautiful song. Yeah, you will be welcome. Well, even if you don't listen to Vaughn Radio, you'll be welcomed with open arms. But remember, you can take advantage of a free level test. I mean, why not? Why not find out where you stand? Also, folks, you know, I like sharing things with you that I get. These little beautiful comments, these things that really, really hit home. Que me tocan el alma, maybe you would say in Spanish. And this one was from lovely Laura. You know her, our Italian student, Laura. And she said, she sent me a happy Thanksgiving greeting. And she said, happy Thanksgiving, Alberto. I think I heard you say that you wouldn't be celebrating it today. Yeah, we always move it to that Friday. And but she says, but I wanted to let you know that I'm really grateful for having you in my life. Wow. Right there, thank you. And right back at you. Te lo devuelvo. Lo mismo te digo. You're a constant source of inspiration, both as a teacher and as a person. And you always manage to make your energy and good vibes rub off on the people around you. That's a totally native, by the way. Let me get that totally native in there. To rub off on, tener efecto, contagiar, right? Rub is frotar. To rub off on the people around you. Wow. I'm getting choked up, Laura. Me emociono y todo. Which, in my humble opinion, is one of the greatest qualities a person can have. Keep up the great work. Un forte abbraccio. Well, Laura, what can I say except thanks for making my week? I was going to say thanks for making my day, but truthfully, you made my week. So I really, really, you know, one of the greatest parts of my job is dealing with you guys every day. You're amazing. I couldn't ask for better students. And that is an example why, not just because you kick ass in English and you're always working hard, but also you're just really great people. And I can hear that as well. And every week when we do our question of the week, you can hear it in your voices. You know, Nuria, Anix, all of, and in fact, Nuria and Anix, I know them in person. Many of you I've had the pleasure of meeting in person. And the ones I haven't, well, we haven't yet. I like to put yet at the end there. Because who knows, maybe at the upcoming book fair or another trivia night, we will see each other and celebrate each other's company, right? I think that's, you know, yesterday I had a Christmas lunch. Yeah, they're starting already. And there were 15 of us. Éramos 15. We don't say we were 15. We say, because we were 15, teníamos 15 años. I wish. Well, then we shouldn't have been drinking wine and beer. But there were 15 of us And it was great because the food was great, the company was great, and we didn't really have to do very much else. Good food, good company. What else can you ask for in life? Really? I mean, you feel totally blessed. Bendecido, you know? All right, let's see what we've got. We've got some awesome students checking in with us here in the comments section. Born to Iron Man, ready to rock, no doubt in my mind. You've been doing push-ups, flexiones since 6 o'clock this morning, if I know you, man. He says, morning, friends. Being in the mood for trivia night. Yeah. Or you can say, I'm in the mood. Right? I'm in the mood for trivia night. I'm itching to go to trivia night. Como vimos ansio. Well, guess what? Born to Iron Man. We're almost there. In fact, I got a message from Chris Valrol this morning, and she is already in Madrid. So you might not see her here in the group today, but she is in Madrid and she is ready for some trivia. So hope to see you all. Richard Vaughn is hosting. It's the last one of 2025. We're all going to be there. I'm not going to miss it for anything in the world, honestly, because I want to see all my amigos. And it's a special event for us, you know, at Vaughn. You know, we all work together, but everybody does their show separately, you know. I'm not in the studio when Rob's doing the Probo show. He's in there alone. Or if he has a guest, you know, I'm not in the studio when Kyle's doing, right? The thing is, we're all doing our jobs, you know, separate, which is normal. You're doing a radio show. So when we all get together and enjoy each other's company, as I said, well, that's great. And then you add you guys to the mix. Wow. As I said, totally blessed. Bendecidos. So great, Born to Iron Man. Looking forward to it. Two of my greatest students are going to be there, Born to Iron Man and Chris Valrol. So what's your excuse, folks? I mean, if you don't live in Madrid, you have an excuse. But guess what? Neither one of those students live in Madrid. So do you have an excuse? I think we should quote Fitz's program here. No excuses. All right, let's see. K Roller Girl says, people who speak to themselves used to be thought as crazy. But nowadays, this has been changed. According to psychology, it means you are gifted, que tienes un don, que tienes talento. Hey, I haven't heard it, but I'll buy it. Lo compro. It makes sense. I mean, I've been talking to myself my whole life. Oh, but what if I do this? I don't know. It helps me see things more clearly, you know, because I can just say it in my head. And then again, if you're learning a language, it is indispensable, imprescindible that you speak aloud. And you can have full conversations with yourself. Why not? You can't imagine? Okay, voy a entrar. Excuse me, do you have a menu? Oh, no. We've got a QR code. Blah, blah. Okay, well, we'd like to start with some drinks, please. I'll have a pint of beer. You know, go through a situation in your head. Role playing. It's actually a lot of fun, not just in the sack, in la cama. Woo-hoo! So absolutely makes all the sense in the world, K Roller Girl. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man says, and this is talking about our pop quiz. He says, please let me think. I have it on the tip of my tongue. Absolutely. You can also say it's on the tip of my tongue. You don't even like it. I have it either. It's on the tip of my tongue. ¿Y cómo lo pronunciamos? Tip, right? Not deep, tip. It's on the tip of my tongue. Let's see. He also says the end of 1999 was a tipping point, especially for IT. Perfect. I highly recommend that book or that audio book. It's called The Tipping Point, and it's written by Malcolm Gladwell. What's the difference between something that's successful and not? How do things spread? Now, I don't know how they translated it. No sé cómo es el título en español. El punto crítico. I think if you study marketing or business, it's a must. It's one of those books that you better study it. I studied it because even though I'm not into marketing, I don't like selling things in general. I think it's an interesting field. No, me parece interesante, aunque luego I don't like selling things or, telling people this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Okay, cool. Although I have to admit, I love those infomercials. I miss them. Vosotros? Do you miss infomercials? Wait, you call them teletienda. We call them infomercials. That's a funny name, right? It's a commercial where you get info, but not really. You're not getting info. You're getting sold a product. But I remember watching those for hours and hours. So yes, the tipping point. That's right, 1999. I remember the Y2K virus. That was also a tipping point for movies. I felt like after 2000, you were lucky if you got like 2 or 3 good movies a year. Now you're lucky if you get one. Thanks, Hollywood. Special shout out to Hollywood, the machine with no ideas. Maybe we need to replace all of Hollywood with IT or AI, I should say, right? Careful, I've heard a lot of people say IA. Claro, porque en español es IA, pero en inglés, remember, it's AI. No, yeah, AI. Ahora me estoy liando. AI. The same way you say UCI, we say ICU. Intensive care unit. You say SIDA, we say AIDS. Right? You say ADN, we say DNA. Similar, but different. All right, let's see. And the last one, Born to Iron Man, he says, a gratuity for service is not as usual in Spain as in the USA. Absolutely. That's the word we were looking for, gratuity. Aunque suena como gratis, it's not. The gratuity is included. That means they've already charged you a tip, right? Let's see. Born to Iron Man says, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. El punto clave in Spanish. Well, I highly recommend you guys read it or listen to the audiobook in English. Really interesting. It tells different stories. And one of the stories is Sesame Street, El Barrio Sésamo. Another one is what made Hush Puppies popular. They were a special brand of shoe that nobody wanted, and then certain people started wearing them, and they got really popular. It also talks about how they started making New York they turned it from one of the worst cities as far as crime is concerned into one of the safest cities in the world. So it looks at a lot of different cases and what causes these cases to be successful versus unsuccessful. I think it's a really interesting book. As I said, it's in certain degrees, carreras, it's part of the required reading. The tipping point. And also the word tip, well, to tip is volcar algo, right? If you're going to tip something over, tip, right? So dato, punta, puntera, punta, final, inclinar, right? He tipped the wine bottle to pour some wine. Okay? Tip. And the tip is el punto de algo, as we said. Okay? As we said, the tip of the tongue. The tip is the top of something. All right? Also, we said give extra money. So it's a pretty awesome word. It's one of those rich words. And again, you can hear more about it in Word Maps, which is available at Von Tienda. I also liked how Richard Brown said, we're going to tear it apart. To tear it apart. I said to pick it apart. Same thing. Tear is, right? Think tear is rompiéndolo en trozos, and pick apart is como dissect. Like, oh yeah, same idea, right? To really look at it in all its different incarnations. Also, he said the word waiter or waitress. Remember, I told you a way that you can make that word unisex. You can just say server. Same thing with bellboy or bellgirl. You can just say bellhop, right? Bellhop. So excellent job, Born to Iron Man. I guess nobody has anything to say about the Say What soundbite. All right, well, no problem, folks. I guess it's going to be a really tough one today, huh? All right, no problem. No problem. That's the way it works. Some days it's easy, and some days you're scratching your head. But that's good. I want you to be challenged. All right, amigos, speaking of challenges, I think we're going to move on to a section that's not really a challenge, more of a listening challenge. It's our news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
Hey, wait. Hey, guys, no smoking. Come on, put the bong away. You know what a bong is? Well, if you know that sound effect, it means you went to university in the United States. I remember a lot of friends had these in their rooms. And when the RAs, the resident assistants, came by, to do a room check or whatever, they would put flowers in them so it looked like a vase, una cachimba. They would put some flowers in it. And so I call this story Space Cake. You know what a space cake is? Have you been to Amsterdam? You know those brownies and cookies that when you eat them, you're hungrier than you were before because they have weed in them? That's called a space cake. And police in New Zealand are investigating after a cannabis cake was brought to a shared lunch. Okay, a shared lunch. That's when people bring all different kind of things. It's like what we did at my friend's house for Thanksgiving. I brought the pulled pork, Fitz brought wine, somebody else brought potatoes, other, Brussels sprouts, coles de Bruselas. So this was the only problem is, are you ready? This shared lunch was at a hospital. Yeah, that's right, a hospital. Okay, and two staff members, y cuidado con la pronunciación, no es hospital, it's hospital. Two staff members ended up in the ER, the emergency room, after eating this cake, right? Now, basically, the individual who brought the cake to the hospital, excuse me, I just said cuidado como lo pronuncias. The individual who brought the cake to the hospital resigned afterwards. To resign is dimitir. Well, I imagine if the person hadn't resigned, that person would have been fired, right? Eventually, a la larga. And in a short statement, police said they are, and I quote, investigating an incident which occurred at the hospital. And they asked the health minister, right? They asked him about the incident, the New Zealand health minister, and he said this is completely unacceptable behavior by the staff member involved. Now, I can imagine the staff member saying, oh, this is going to be funny. Yeah, but I'll tell you what. One thing is eating a space cake because you've decided to eat it and you're mentally prepared for it, right? And another thing is you eat a cake, which you think is a normal cake, and a half an hour later, you're hallucinating, right? Alucinando. And so the health minister said they are looking into it, and this is incredibly serious. I quote, incredibly serious. Now, the director of operations also stepped in to say that the patient's safety is always a top priority. But again, two people were rushed, como decimos, to the ER, to the emergency room. Now, they were staff members. Thankfully, they weren't patients. I think it would have been, all right. Well, let's put it this way. If it had been the patients, I think it would have been a lot worse. Not that that makes this any better, but they are looking into it. Now, this isn't the first time things like this have happened in New Zealand. I guess this is considered some kind of practical joke in New Zealand. And in 2018, a man was sentenced to 22 months in prison after poisoning workmates with a space cake, as I just told you. Now, in that case, 9 of his colleagues were admitted to a hospital as a result. And so, guys, you want to play jokes or pranks on people? Not that kind. Yeah, you could really affect somebody's mental health. Because just think, again, if you are participating in drug taking, you're at least your mind is telling you, okay, we're going to get ready for this. But if somebody's just sitting there unaware, inconsciente, it could, I mean, they could jump out a window, God forbid. So this story could have ended a lot worse. Thankfully, it didn't. All right, amigos, we are heading to a quick commercial break. And as you know, we are halfway through the show. We'll be right back with so much more. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the second half of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Yeehaw! Tons of stuff to do. We're going to kick things off with our homophones. We've also got our Say What soundbite for the third time. We've got wacky world records. We've got Spelling Bee. Born to Iron Man says, if I were right, I'd say I didn't listen to the second time of Say What soundbite. Did you? I could swear I played it. I didn't? Are you sure? Have you been eating space cakes? Hey, if I didn't. Please speak up, folks. Back the man up, but I could swear I remember hearing it twice myself. That's weird. I'll give it to you an extra time if you need it. Again, I didn't think it was too difficult. It is a little bit vulgar today. But again, that's part of the language too. You know, not everybody speaks, like a goody two-shoes. In fact, most people I know curse frequently. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying you need to know. Especially with ones like, man, you're the shit. You don't want to punch the person. They're telling you you're awesome. So we don't want to, we're trying to avoid misunderstandings in general. All right, folks. Are you ready for some more challenges? Let's see. Born to Iron Man says, Sesame Street. What a peculiar thing. It's a street for you and a borough for us. Yeah, neighborhood. Yeah, well, you know what, Born to Iron Man, considering how you guys butcher titles here, it's close enough. Me sorprende que no es un pájaro loco con una rana que van en busca de la felicidad. We got to be lucky. It has the word sesame in there. Sesamo, right? Open sesame. Also, sesame seeds. That's another word you need to know if you like sesame bagels like I do. I love them. They are delicious. All right, let's get into our first challenge of the second half of today's show, and it's homophones on the show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name.
Hold the phones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time is homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 The show with no name.
Show with no
The show
name.
with no name. The show with no name.
All right, amigos, let's take a look at what we've got over here for today's homophones. This is where pronunciation really counts. All right, the first word is revolver, remover, mezclar. As a noun, it's revuelo, a disturbance. So it's a synonym for mixing something. It's a synonym for a disturbance. It's also a feeling, sensación, movimiento, right? And what else can we say? Oh, well, there are many idiomatic expressions with it. Causar problemas, causar revuelo, saltear. When you use a wok, we use that as well, porque siempre estás removiéndolo cuando cocinas en un wok. ¿Ok? Y también si añadimos la palabra crazy después, es loco. ¿Ok? Y loco, pero de inquieto. Que estás como, you know, I think of when I was growing up, we would have snow days. And it was days where there was no school, but you couldn't leave the house because there was too much snow. So you would get cabin fever. That's another way to say it. No loco de tengo que salir. Okay. So restless and bored. It's also, if we add the word crazy to it, it's restless and bored. If we add the word fry, it's revuelto or salteado. You know when they make like noodles with veggies and stuff as well. Armar un lío, si metemos la palabra trouble después. And it's provocar, suscitar. I mean, it's a pretty rich word, I'd say. All right. And the second word is, well, if you have a vehicle, it's conducir, dirigir. In America Latina, they say manejar. Okay. But also it's used in a figurative sense as well. Okay. Queremos guiarlo o conducirlo o dirigirlo, encaminarlo en esta dirección. Okay, so it's not just in the physical sense. It also is a castrated bull, cabestro. Okay, and yeah, there are many other words around it. So if you add the word clear, it's mantenerse alejado de eso, right? So for example, space cakes. I always clear of space cakes. All right, so the first word, many, many meanings, but I guess the main one is to mix something. The second one is to direct or drive something, to guide it. All right, those are your two words in the homophone section. Also, just in case, I'm going to give you the Say What soundbite another 2 times, although I could swear, and I can listen later, obviously. I can't now because I'm in the middle of the show, but I could swear I already gave it to you twice. So here's what I think is the 3rd time. But again, it's okay. A little extra time won't hurt anybody.
Up yours! Oh, I heard that song before, pal. Now listen, dickhead, you got anything to get off your chest?
Will you tell me who you're talking to?
No, say one more word. Just one more fucking word. Come on!
All right, and here's the 3rd or 4th time, depending.
Up yours! Oh, I heard that song before, pal. Now listen, dickhead, you got anything to get off your chest?
Will you tell me who you're talking to?
No, say one more word. Just one more fucking word. Come on!
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English. and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town. Lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. All right, folks, if you want more information about Vaughn Town, you can go to grupovaughn.com. And as I said, grupovaughn.com, you can find not just things about Vaughn Town, you can find out about our masters, about Disney Vaughn English, an amazing initiative for the kids. They're going to love it. In fact, it sounds like something I would love as well as a Disney adult. But sorry, no adults. Yeah, it's just for kids, this one, guys. But we've got something for everyone, for every budget, for every level, for every age, for every need under the sun. And I mean, when I say every need, every level, I mean, we've got, things that you can do on your own for self-study, like online courses. We even have Speak Pro, I think it's called, which is an AI-assisted thing. Again, you can get all the information. Don't quote me on this, but you can get all the information at grupovaughn.com. If you use social media, you can find us on many different platforms. Also, you can sign up for our newsletter, and this way you make sure you aren't missing anything. All right, let's see what we've got over here. Born to Iron Man says, as it's said in Spain, where are you, mates? I'm alone facing the danger. Oh, it's a movie quote from High Noon. Yeah, it's true, Born to Iron Man. You got a bunch of people here in the group, but they left you hanging. Te han dejado un poco tirado. But that's okay. You're a one-man army, as we say. You don't need anybody to shine, do you? It's true. It's true. You don't need, you're doing a great job on your own. Now, if the other people can't participate, that's fine. As long as you're, guys, as long as the rest of you who are tuned in live right now are participating by saying the words aloud, you're off the hook. Okay? Te libras. But if you're not doing that part, then maybe you're just here looking at my beautiful face then. I get it. I totally get it. These blue eyes, blue-gray eyes is to die for. Obviously, I'm kidding. All right, let's go over here. Born to Iron Man, our one-man army. Pero bueno, todo es un aprendizaje. I just taught you the expression to leave him hanging. Do you say the same thing? Dejarle colgado? I think you say dejarle tirado. You left him hanging. You left him high and dry. Como la canción de Radiohead. Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. All right, he's given us the two words. They are correct. And he says they don't sound alike. All right, well, let's look at both words. The first word is stir. Ahora, cuando ves esa palabra, S-T-I-R, yo quiero que tú veas S-T-E-R. Ok, so apúntalo. Apúntalo tal como se escribe, táchala ahí y pon una E debajo. Now, isn't it easier to say now? Stir, stir. Unless you're British, then you say stir, stir. All right, so stir. Okay, I'm making some gravy. I need to keep stirring it. Okay, it's a regular verb. Duplicamos la R cuando añadimos el ing en el gerundio y también en el pasado y el perfecto. Añadimos dos R's, right? So I stirred the sauce. Okay, stir. He's always stirring up trouble. Buscando problemas, buscando líos, right? Also, to stir it up. Man, that kid is always stirring it up. Okay? And that can be in a negative way or a positive way. I want to stir up interest for our cause. Quiero despertar, suscitar, provocar interés. So it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. In fact, we know it from a Bob Marley song. Stir it up, Little darling, stir it up. And then we said it's revuelo. Well, to cause a stir. That new song is causing a stir. It's arousing excitement. Okay. Also, to stir the shit. ¿Qué es eso? Remover la mierda. O sea, people who stir the shit, stay away from them. Stay away. To go stir crazy. Man, I've been in my house for 3 days because of this snowstorm. I'm going stir crazy. O sea, no me puedo remover. No puedo, estoy aquí como removiendo en un círculo. To go stir crazy. In fact, I believe it's a movie as well. Let me take a look. It sounds like a movie title. Stir crazy movie. Yes, Stir Crazy is a movie with Gene Wilder, Gene Más Salvaje, Gene Wilder, and Richard Anterior, Richard Pryor. Bueno, Pryor se escribe con I latina, pero se pronuncia igual. So Richard Anterior and Gene Más Salvaje. The movie is called Stir Crazy. It came out in 1980, and I don't even want to know what the name is in Spanish, because is it Stir Crazy? A lo loco? I don't know. Loco, inquieto loco? I don't know. But again, sometimes you don't even have to watch the movie to learn. Just by knowing the title, you can learn from it. So stir, as we can see, it's got a lot of meanings. And the second one, steer. Steer. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to steer, you stir my coffee. Yo voy a guiar el coche, tú remueves mi café. They are not homophones. Excellent job. Born to Iron Man. All right, excellent job there. And steer, the one I said too, to steer clear of. If I were you, I would steer clear of drugs and alcohol. Nothing positive can come from that stuff. To steer clear of. Okay, piensa, clear, okay, maneja para que ya estás, right, ya está despejado. You're not going to hit into them. To steer clear of something, okay? And as we said, to steer is also to encaminar. A lot of times in companies, big corporations, you'll hear about a steering committee, right? A steering committee, which is kind of the people who are like, okay, this is the direction we want to go in the next 5 years or 2 years or what have you. Let's see. Born to Iron Man also says, oh, of course, classic movie line. I'll have a martini, shaken, not stirred. Shaken, this is Bond, Jaime Vinculo. I'll have a martini, shaken, not stirred. And he says the movie Stir Crazy is called Locos de Remate. I knew it was something with locos. Chiflados. Locos de Remate. Stir Crazy. So the first word, stir. The second word, steer. Excellent job. And as we've seen, they've got many, many meanings. All right, it's time for Wacky World Records.
Wacky World Records. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world.
That's right, folks. Welcome to Wacky World Records. These aren't your typical records, right? They're not the conventional ones. They're quirky, poco convencional. But that's why we like to look at them on Wacky World Records. Well, this one takes us over to Iran. Some people say Iran. Some people say Iran. So that's another one there, okay? I always used to make a joke. I ran from Iraq. Huí de Iraq. I ran from Iraq. Well, because they had some Greece and Turkey. Oh, no. Grecia y Turkey. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll stop. Well, I was Russian. Era ruso, iba con prisa. Okay, I swear. Now I swear I'll stop. for now. So this guy, Abulfaz Sabir Mokhtari of Iran, bested. Now, to best is mejorar. So we know best, you're the best around, or simply the best. Well, to best is superar, mejorar, okay, as a verb. It's a regular verb. So he bested his own previous title when he managed to balance, are you ready for this? 88 spoons in various locations around his body. Now, I don't want to know about all those locations. Yeah. Well, if you're balancing spoons, you've only got 2 ears, you got 1 nose, you got 10 fingers, you start running out of places to balance 88 spoons. So his previous record was 85 spoons. Okay. Now, 85, lo estás oyendo bien, 85 cucharas que equilibraba en su cuerpo, no las ponía para que no se cayeran. So his previous record was 85 spoons, and it all started when he was a little tyke, a little kid. He started sticking different foreign objects to his skin, and, well, it became his skill. It became his gift, su don. And now he has developed this skill where he can use his natural adhesive properties. So he's got like glue skin, I guess. Yeah, well, maybe that's like Darwinism. He's like, this is my thing. I've got to adapt. Maybe he has, certain kinds of food that makes his skin stickier. I don't know. I don't know his secret. But basically, he can lift an entire adult person off the ground, as well as the spoon stuff. So what do you think of that, folks? He beat his own record. He bested his own record. And now, instead of 85 spoons balancing on his body, he can now do a whopping, enorme, como el Whopper. Bueno, es tan enorme. They've shrunk quite a bit, right? Well, 88 spoons in various locations of his body. Again, we won't ask where, because that's probably TMI. Too much information. All right, amigos, we are moving on to our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, folks, it is our spelling bee. As always, this is the part of the show where we really test you. We see how quick you can get these letters. And today we've got letters and numbers. Round 1, strap on your seatbelts, as we say, because we are going to fly through these. The first one is ARECIBO space OBSERVATORY. The second one is 305 meters / 1,000 feet. Number 3, SINKHOLE. The fourth one, ARECIBO, comma, space, PUERTO, space, RICO. The fifth one is CORNELL, space, UNIVERSITY. And the sixth one is GOLDENEYE, space, 1995. I am officially out of breath. All right, well, we've got something going on over there. Is that some kind of radar? Remember, we write it the same, radar, right? But we say radar. For us, it's not radar, it's radar. Radar. When you put the accent, radar. So for us, it's radar. Acento al principio y es otro sonido vocal. All right, now there's no doubt in my mind that the only person who's going to take a stab at it today is Born to Iron Man. Well, you guys left him hanging there. You don't have to explain it to me. You got to explain it to your classmate. But again, he is a one-man army, and he's never needed anyone to help him before. So, and I know Chris Valrol, well, she is arriving in Madrid and told me that she wouldn't be here today. So you can't just lean on them all the time, folks. Or you can, I guess, if they'll do the work for you. Is that how it works? I don't think so. All right, let's see. Going once. Come on, Born to Iron Man. I'm rooting for you. Estoy aquí apoyando a tope aquí. Let's see. I can only give you about another 15 or 20 seconds. And then I've got to start round 2 because it's a question of time here. Es cuestión de tiempo. All right. I can't buy you any more time. All right. Here we go, folks. This is round 2. I know I went fast, but as I'm always going to repeat them a little bit slower, don't worry. You always get that second chance. You don't always get it in life, but here in our spelling bee, you do. Here we go. This is at a more normal pace. Okay. The first one is ARECIBO space OBSERVATORY. The second one is 305 meters / 1,000 feet. The third one, SINKHOLE. The fourth one is ARECIBO, comma, space PUERTO, space RICO. The fifth one is CORNELL, space UNIVERSITY. And the last one is GOLDENEYE, space 1995. Folks, we are heading to our final commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's English extravaganza. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Don't forget to stay tuned. After today's show, you've got Speaking with Confidence with Ale, followed by the Lunchtime Show with Rob Grams. After that, you've got Speak English with Ruby. Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. You've also got The Salad with Dave Boys. Don't forget about Kyle Miller's Drive Time. You've got Frankly Speaking with Chris Frank, who made us a pecan pie cocktail. Yeah, it was delicious. I don't drink cocktails, but you got to try Chris's experiments. As I told them, I know chemists who don't have as many tools or as many ingredients. It's like he was making a potion, una pócima. Well, you can learn some cocktails with him and English every day on Frankly Speaking. Don't forget about the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams, No Excuses with Fitz, Jessica Fernandez, and the Hour to Empower, and the man with the plan, Richard Vaughn. And don't forget to join us at Richard Vaughn's Trivia Night. It is the 2nd of December. It is upon us. Está aquí. All right, let's rock and roll, because as you know, time is of the essence. Los segundos cuentan. Right now, it's time for Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
Double. Come on, baby, baby. Come on, baby, baby. Come on.
I said double trouble.
That's right, folks. It is today's Double Trouble. All right. Well, here we go. Let's see if you know these words. I know you know one of the uses. And in fact, we actually looked at spoon before. Well, this is another utensil. Okay. And in fact, this is a double trouble. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you have to use two sets of words twice. Okay, so one set of word and then another set of words, okay? So, ¿cómo va a conducir una carretilla elevadora si ni siquiera puede levantar un tenedor? Okay, so you say carretilla elevadora, grúa horquilla. In Spanish and Spain, they say toro. It's this thing that when you have a warehouse, un almacén, lo usas para mover cajas. Think of Amazon, think of Home Depot. Well, you call it bricola, these Leroy Merlin, when they got to move these pallets with big things, they use this kind of tractor thing, which has got, it lifts things and it moves them to another place. Okay. Here on word reference, it says carretilla elevadora. In America Latina, es montacargas. Also, it says grúa horquilla. Or in España peninsular, it says toro. Well, in España, it doesn't say peninsular. In Castellano, I should say toro. I didn't know that. See, I'm learning something there myself. Okay, so remember, you got to use two sets of words here. So, ¿cómo va a conducir una carretilla elevadora / un toro si ni siquiera puede levantar un tenedor? That's your double trouble. Also, let me give you the say what soundbite. Here it is for the 4th, or I could swear 5th time. Let's see if Born to Iron Man gets it. Well, I say that because even though there are more people here, he's the only one participating. So today we're going to call it the Born to Iron Man show. Well, the show doesn't have a name. I can call it whatever I want, right? Well, today I'm calling it the Born to Iron Man show. You got it, buddy. It's yours today, my one-man army. Here it is for the fourth or fifth time.
Up yours! Oh, I heard that song before, pal. Now listen, dickhead, you got anything to get off your
Will you
chest?
tell me who you're talking to?
No, say one more word. Just one more fucking word. Come on!
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. If you want information about our masters, about Vaughn Town, about Disney Vaughn English, or any of our materials, you can head to our website, grupovaughn.com. All right, let's see what we've got over here. We've got Born to Iron Man, of course, taking a stab at today's double trouble. And he says, how is he going to drive a forklift if he can't even lift a fork? Ladies and gentlemen, there's our winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Awesome job. How is he going to drive a forklift? And I love that you got the si no, ni siquiera, me cuesta eso en español, si ni siquiera, if he can't even, muy bien, tío. How is he going to drive a forklift if he can't even lift a fork? Excellent. And we looked at the word spoon before during our records, and I'm sure you know knives as well, right? Forks, spoons, knives. What about sporks? A spork is a mix between a spoon and a fork. So yes, we call this thing that is used in warehouses, at these big hardware stores, we call those fork lifts. Y si lo piensas, right? It looks like those two things are part of a fork. And what does it do? It lifts things. So it's quite a logical word in English as well. Excellent job, Born to Iron Man. Also, let's take a look over here at the spelling bee. There's just one mistake that I can see in there, and I gotta say something. This is the second time I caught you with this one. I know it'll be the last time. Slash, lo que hace zorro. Slash, right? Slash. It's another way of saying to cut yourself, right? Ah, I slashed my face open. And slasher films are like, so es parece un corte. And dash es el guión. So you put dash. What I was looking for was slash. Again, it's just the technicality. But also, if it was an email address or if it were a password, we're not getting access, right? So that is important. And I remember this mistake before. But again, now I know that you'll definitely get it the third time around. So guys, let's clear it up here. Dash, guión, normal, el de toda la vida. Okay, or hyphen. Dash or hyphen. Okay, slash, parece un corte, tal como suena. Slash, right? And that is barra. All right, arroba we know, which is at. Punto es dot. Cuando hablamos de una dirección, URL. So yes, now what did these words all have in common? Well, these words all had to do with the Arecibo Observatory, okay? Arecibo Observatory And it was, I should say, a huge telescope that was located in Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Now, I've got to tell you something. I've been there. I've been to this telescope, and I remember as a kid thinking I was in some science fiction movie. Seriously, it was insane. Puedes buscarlo, aunque sea tirado, hay muchas fotos. And it's called Arecibo. They would probably say the C like S, right? Not like a la castellana. So Arecibo Observatory, and it was 305 meters slash barra 1,000 feet. It was located in a sinkhole. So it was a natural sinkhole. How do you call a sinkhole? Sumidero, cenote, hoyo, right? It's a big hole that's in rock that's been eroded by water. Parece un lavabo, right? A sink. So we call those sinkholes. So it was the perfect place to put this radar-looking satellite thing. And, well, you might be thinking, I know I've seen that somewhere. That's right. You might have seen it in the James Bond film, Shaken, Not Stirred. That was not planned, by the way. GoldenEye, that's right, which was number 6. Number 6 was GoldenEye, the 1995 film GoldenEye, the James Bond film. One of the scenes is filmed at the Arecibo, I'm going to pronounce it a la puertorriqueña, observatory. And it collapsed today in 2020. Now, it was already falling into disrepair. It was old and it wasn't being maintained, and they kind of let it go down the drain or down the tubes, por el garete. So what else have we got here? Sinkhole, Arecibo, Puerto Rico, or Arecibo, Puerto Rico is where it's located. So that's number 4. Number 5, Cornell University. They were the ones who operated it in the earlier years. In fact, Cornell University is a very reputable school located in New York, not New York City, but upstate in Ithaca, New York, Cornell University. So, yeah, those are your words. And again, take a look at it. Google Arecibo, bueno, te lo digo a la castellana, Arecibo telescope, and quite impressive. In fact, I remember seeing it as a child and walking out onto this. I was probably 10 years old, maybe 8 years old. And I remember just walking through a forest because it was in the middle of like a rainforest, una selva, and then walking out onto this platform. And I thought to myself, is this Star Wars or Star Trek? Where am I? And some of those moments you'll never forget because it was like nothing I had seen before. All right, that is your spelling bee. It's time to move on to Name That Movie. Name That Movie. All right, here we go, amigos. After the murder, no murder, como si fuera una E. After the murder of his older brother, a New York history student is hounded. A hound es un sabueso, o sea, perseguido, hounded by a shadowy turbio, right? By shadowy government agents on the trail, o sea, en busca de, another way of saying on the trail, siguiendo el rastro, of a Nazi war criminal. You say Nazi, we say Nazi. Nazi war criminal who's trying to retrieve smuggled diamonds. And careful with the pronunciation there. It's not diamond, sino diamond. And smuggled, we looked at that the other day, de contrabando. Remember, we were looking at racketeering, forgery. It was in our pop quiz. I don't know if it was last Thursday or Friday, but we looked at those words recently. All right, so after the murder of his older brother, a New York history student is hounded, perseguido, acosado by shadowy government agents on the trail of a Nazi war criminal who's trying to retrieve smuggled diamonds. Give it up for your classmate, Born to Iron Man. It's Marathon Man. Hey, that's you. Born to Iron Man, you're a Marathon Man. That's right. The movie is called Marathon Man, and it stars Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier, and it came out in